A warm welcome to you as you join us on Ogtv News. I am Mojisola Sholaja. Our top stories. President Tinubu to hold talks with Jinping in China. Governor Abeokuta appeals to customs to be civil with traders in Ogun State. Federal government vows to shut down profiteering filling stations selling above approved price. Spain invites Ursula von der Leyen to witness migrant crisis firsthand.
And coming up on the business segment of the news, NNPC begins natural gas export to Japan, China. Join me later for more details. I am Adibola Oshomuji.
And from the sports desk, Cristiano Ronaldo set to retire at Al-Nassr. Join me for more on this another update. I am Sheyi Hello. Don't go away.
You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. President Bola Tinubu is expected to meet with the President of the People's Republic of China in Beijing by the first week of September, the presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale has said. Although there was no specific date for the president's departure to Beijing, Ngelale said that the Nigerian leader will engage in a series of meetings with his Chinese counterpart and 10 chief executive officers of different major corporations for the economic benefit of the country. He said that President Tinubu would also engage in bilateral agreements and sign memoranda of understanding as well as agreements to deepen cooperations in various sectors, including the green economy, blue economic development, and national planning cooperation, among others. He also said that issues of national, regional, and international security will also be part of the discussions, adding that other areas of concern in his visit would be the completion of the Abuja to Ibadan segment of the Lagos-Kaduna Standard Railway. The presidential spokesman further added that issues on information technology, refining, oil and gas, and satellite technology would be on the front burner. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has appealed with the operatives of the Nigeria Customs Service to be civil with marketmen and women regarding complaints of invasion of shops and warehouses in markets across the state. The governor made the appeal while receiving the Controller General of Customs, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, in his office. Abiodun, who stressed that there are bound to be some unscrupulous individuals who could be found wanting over the issue of smuggling, insisted that the majority of the people in the state are law-abiding.
The states have asked me to again plead with your controllers here. In the recent past, the experience that we had has improved from what it has been in the far past. I want to acknowledge that I can't have their responsibilities, but they should do so in a more civil manner, particularly knowing that besides the fact that, of course, we have our neighbors with Benin Republic, and we have the longest border with Benin Republic. I'm not aware that we have a lot of unscrupulous elements that will take advantage of that border. However, by and large, our people are generally very law-abiding, and we just want to go about the enterprises in terms of buying and selling. You know, and when at times your men go into markets, break stores, seize their rice, seize their goods, and you know, at times because of that, it gets violent and shots are fired and stray bullets, you know, hit innocent people. At times it gets very sour.
In his response, the customs boss Adewale Adeniyi frowned at the invasion of markets, expressing his disappointment over the issue as he promised to look into the matter for redress.
Smuggled items, they are still smuggled items anywhere they are. If we're able to get them into the market, it does not change their status. They still remain smuggled items. But just like the governor, His Excellency, has admonished, there could be a more civil way in which we will control these things in such a way that it will not create this kind of problems and create unnecessary problem for the state government. Sometimes some of these market women will not even be able to draw a line and know whose agents are these people working for. Are they working for Mr. Governor? Are they working for Mr. President and all of that? They just see us as agents of the state. And because of that, we need to be very careful when we're dealing with such sensitive issues.
Adewale assured the people of the state to remain calm, adding that all necessary steps will be taken to address the issue. Members of the Ogun State Caucus and the National Assembly have applauded Governor Dapo Abiodun's developmental drive, especially in launching the state into a global aviation hub. Speaking after inspecting the ongoing Nigeria Customs Training School located at the Gateway International Airport, Ileshan-Iperu Road in Ikenne local government area, the senator representing Ogun Central Senatorial District, Senator Shuaib Afolabi Salis, commended the governor for influencing the siting of the Customs Training School in the state. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
Members of the Ogun State Caucus in the National Assembly deemed it fit to visit the Nigerian Customs Training School located at the Gateway International Airport, Ileshan-Iperu in Ikenne local government area. According to them, the institute is an indication that the state is on the right track with the multiplying effect the project would bring in the future. Senator Shuaib Afolabi Salis lauds President Bola Tinubu for approving the establishment of the world-class customs institution in the state, emphasizing that, apart from complementing the developmental drive of the Abiodun-led administration, it would showcase the state at the global level.
Here, as members of National Assembly and stakeholders, to see how, as a representative of Ogun State in the National Assembly, what we can do to support this project. Support in the sense that we belong to different committees. We are members of the National Assembly. This is a federal government project that's situated in our state. We want to be able to support it, that through appropriation, through suggestions, and then to ensure that this project is completed, if not ahead of schedule, we are right on schedule.
Also speaking, the member representing Ikenne and Shagamu Federal Constituency, Honorable Adeyemi Ononuga, appreciates the governor for seeing beyond the present, noting that the project, when completed, would be the largest in sub-Saharan Africa.
I'm happy that we have a governor who basically can see tomorrow, you know, and having this with the customs, and because once we inaugurate or commission the airport, I know that this is going to be like finished in the next 3 months, because they also want to be a part of the airport. So having this going together with the airport, there is no way the people in my locality would not benefit immensely from this.
In his remarks, the member representing Yewa North Imekwa for Federal Constituency, Honorable Boyega Noso Isiaka, acknowledges the contribution of the governor in bringing the project to the state, even as he expresses optimism that the impact would be felt not only in the immediate environment, but throughout the entire state and the country at large.
This is very exciting. Number one, we are happy that this is happening in Ogun State. We are thankful to God, we are thankful to the President, we are thankful to the Governor who has this dream, and that dream now is coming to reality. The impact actually surpasses even this immediate environment. The whole state is going to feel it, and that is something that we are very happy. We are very happy about.
Other members in the team were Honorables Joseph Adebeson, Ibrahim Isiaka, Tunji Akiose, and Femi Ogubawo. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Ogun State government will continually prioritize the safety and health of residents, as well as regularly curb the spread of any form of disease. Managing Director of the Ogun State Waste Management Authority, Honorable Abeokuta, gave this assurance during an inspection exercise to hospitals in Abeokuta metropolis to ensure medical practitioners comply with necessary guidelines and safety measures in handling biomedical and domestic waste. Margaret Okunlola reports.
In a bid to ensure proper waste management, this time medical waste disposal, a team from the Ogun State Waste Management Authority, Ogwama, led by the Managing Director of the authority, Honorable Abeokuta, went round hospitals in Abeokuta metropolis to inspect their waste disposal practices. Honorable says Ogun State government will do all within its capacity to ensure the safety of lives of its residents and curb the spread of infections and diseases.
We should do the needful, not for me, not for anybody, but for the good citizens of Ogun State. They say earth is wet, and we should do it well, and we should handle it well. So number one, they will have to tell us how their waste are being managed. Number two, they give us a proof of what they have been doing to their waste in the past, especially the medical waste. If those materials are not well handled, it transfers to another person, and then it goes on like that. So that's the same what we want to do. And we want to ensure that Ogun State is a better place for everybody to live.
He emphasizes that it will no longer be business as usual. Therefore, all hands will be on deck to ensure compliance.
There's a law in Ogun State that your medical waste should not be handled by you. You just have to surrender it to the government, and we have do the needful there to ensure that it's well managed. There is no hospital you get to that will not explain to you that you have managed it well, and doing it well. Everybody will make an excuse, but now we want to do the needful. You must submit your medical waste to us so that it will be properly managed. There is a procedure for it. There's a standard practice for it, and that we must follow now.
An on-the-spot assessment shows some hospitals complied with the ethics of waste disposal, as there are separate designated waste points for biomedical and domestic waste, while some hospitals did not comply.
There are some sharps, needles, syringes that has to be kept separately. There's also the blood. Blood is a good medium for infection, and also shouldn't allow it to be in contact with another person. So everything that's staying with blood is also called medical waste. We have to abide to this inspection, and we have to abide to the rules and regulations. And because for us to be able to protect, the citizen in Ogun, and for them not to contract any form of disease.
A total number of 6 hospitals were visited and inspected. As Honorable Oye emphasizes, more plans are on the way to take on other medical centers, including the private hospitals and government hospitals across the state. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
2,094 candidates across Ogun State have sat for the Ogun State College of Nursing entrance examination, a pivotal step for the health sector. Special Assistant to Ogun State Governor on Health, Dr. Tayo Lawal, revealed that the innovative initiative by the Ogun State government aims to train the candidates. Tony Ogundipe was with the team that monitored the conduct of the examination, which was held at the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta. Her report was presented in this package.
With the aim of bolstering healthcare services delivered in Ogun State, the Ogun State College of Nursing entrance examination commences admission screening exercises for over 2,000 candidates. The screening is scheduled for 3 days between 27th to 29th of August 2024. The Commissioner for Health, represented by Special Advisor on Health to the State Governor, Dr. Tayo Lawal, while supervising the examination held on the premises of the College School of Nursing and Midwifery, Idiaba, Abeokuta, says the state government had in the past few years ensured that the admission process was merit-based.
This is our first attempt at organizing this kind of thing since we got our conversion to go collegiate. Of course, all the students have gone through JAMB for the first screening process. So that means that it's only those that scored above 180 that the JAMB will now send to us to screen. Comparatively with what we've been doing before, the number is lesser, and the process is more conducive. It's well organized.
Similarly, Acting Director of Nursing Aminu Omobolanle noted that the only candidate who succeeded in the computer-based examination and oral interview would be admitted.
Recently, there is a reform that was made by the regulatory body, nursing education reform, which stipulated that all schools of nursing must either go collegiate or get themselves affiliated or absorbed into a university system. So in Ogun State, we have chosen to go collegiate.
Some of the students said the college is becoming more attractive.
The school is okay, the exam is okay too, and the time frame for the exam, everything is okay.
This is good, it's not stressful. I wish myself the best.
However, the basic nursing program is now 4 years, which will allow candidates to go for 1-year National Youth Service program.
The World Health Organization, WHO, says it needs $87.4 million for more than 6 months to work with countries, partners, and other stakeholders to contain the current outbreak of Mpox. The world body said on Tuesday in a statement that the fund will be used to implement critical activities outlined in the Global Strategic Preparedness and Response Plan released on August 26. It stated that the SPRP is a comprehensive framework developed by WHO to guide global response to Mpox, emphasizing surveillance, research, equitable access to medical countermeasures, and community empowerment. The required fund will be used across WHO headquarters, regional and country offices to enable coordination of the responses, provide technical assistance, run operations, and deliver medical supplies. WHO therefore called on donors to urgently fund the full extent of the Mpox response to prevent further spread and protect those at risk. Meanwhile, the government of the United States of America donated 10,000 doses of vaccines to Nigeria. The vaccine is approved by the Food and Drug Administration for the prevention of smallpox and Mpox in adults aged 18 years and older who are at risk of Mpox infection. Speaking during the official handover of the Mpox vaccine to Nigeria in Abuja, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pate, thanked the U.S. government for the donation and stated that the federal government is committed to improving the well-being of Nigerians. Pate, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Daju Kacholam, said this is a spirit of cooperation and collaboration through the years, and the vaccine will be of great help to Nigeria. Mpox is an infection transmitted from animals to humans that occurs sporadically, primarily in remote villages of Central and West Africa near tropical rainforests. As of last Friday, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported that Nigeria had recorded a total of 40 confirmed cases of monkeypox out of 830 suspected cases across the country. Still ahead, flood kill 49 displays 41,344 in Nigeria. More news and reports when we return. You're still watching Ogtv News. Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has released the cutoff point for learners that sat for the screening exercise into its 42 flagship secondary schools for the 2024-2025 academic session, insisting on high-quality standard of education in schools throughout the state. Commissioner in the ministry, Professor Abeokuta, while addressing the principals of the flagship schools in Abeokuta, explained that the cutoff, which varies from one school to the other, was done based on the learners' performance and carrying capacity of each school. Professor Abeokuta noted that learners' performance for the examination was very impressive, with 14,363 out of 19,691 applicants scoring above 50, representing 76.2% of the total score, revealing that an applicant in Abeokuta Grammar School has the highest score of 91. In her address, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Mrs. Oluwatosin Oloko, represented by the Director of Education, Department of Secondary and Higher Education, Mr. Oluwole Majekodumi, said that the results of learners in flagship schools are becoming encouraging due to the intervention and concentration of government in those schools. Earlier in his opening speech, the Director, Department of Curriculum Development and Evaluation, Mr. Timitope Lashilo, submitted that the purpose of the meeting was to determine the cutoff for the student admission into flagship schools to ensure qualified candidates are admitted and to provide equal opportunities for the learners. Appreciating the Commissioner on behalf of other principals for the opportunity to be part of the decision-making, the principals, Roma Secondary School, Shagamu, Mr. Samuel Shonaye, and Comprehensive High School, Ayetoro, Mrs. Janet Hammond, expressed optimism that schools in the will become standard for the laudable initiative of the government. Meanwhile, the Commissioner meeting with the State Executive of National Examination Council, NECO, led by the State Coordinator, Mrs. Bukola Alo in Okemoson, Abeokuta, lauded the examination body for their consistency, saying, since the introduction of the examination, it has become a notable option as far as senior school certificate examination is concerned. Ogun State government has reiterated its commitment towards fighting food shortage and price inflation. Commissioner for Agriculture, Bolu Owotomo, said this while assuring the residents of the state of continuous food production initiatives during his visit to 75 hectares rice cluster at Obafemiwode local government area of the state. Ayodeji Tomori Oluwumi reports.
This is Ogboloko Ayiwere rice cluster. This was planted sometimes in April and now ready for harvesting.
Ogun State Commissioner for Agricultural Development and Food Security, Bolu Owotomo, along with team members from Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, Ogtv, visited the 75 hectares of rice cluster for cultivation.
Seeing is believing. Just last week, His Excellency flagged off the harvest of 200 hectares of rice farm here in Obafemiwode local government. Today, we are again here to commence the harvest of 75 hectares, this time around of further rice. And this is by another cluster in Obafemiwode local government.
Project Manager of the Agric sector of Ogtv, Dr. Oluseyi Olugbire, narrates the processes of intervention made by the state government to subsidize the cost of production.
We received some training on good agricultural practices. They were supported to write business plans. They were linked to off-taker so that there will be steady market for this particular rice. Each farmer was supported to the tune of 1 hectare.
Farmers who benefited appreciate the support of the state government and the partners for providing them an enabling environment.
Starting from tractors that is plowing, oil, chemical, fertilizer, and seed.
Majority of us are manual farmers, but with the upskilling training, we are able to upskill our level of training to know how we can plant in mechanized way.
The cluster is expected to yield between 2.5 to 3 tons of rice for each hectare after processing. The delegation also visited the 180 hectares of cassava cluster located at Obafemi Owode local government area of the state.
Ayodeji Tomori Olumi reporting for Ogtv.
The bill seeking to improve electricity generation, transmission and distribution within Ogun State, establish an electricity market and key power sector bodies, enforce consumer rights and obligation, and for connected purposes, has scaled the second reading on the floor of the State House of Assembly. The bill, titled Ogun State Power Sector Law, passed through second reading as the state lawmakers took turns to debate the desirability of the bill at the plenary presided over by the Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Kolawole Osho's report is presented in this package.
The process of the second reading of the bill titled Ogun State Power Sector Law commenced with a motion moved by Honorable Babatunde Tella, seconded by Honorable Damilare Bello, and supported by the whole House through a unanimous vote. Opening debate on the second reading of the bill, Honorable Tella said that when passed by the Assembly and assented to by Governor Dapo Abiodun, the bill would assist in improving electricity generation, transmission, and distribution for the benefit of the people, pointing out that the rural areas would become integrated and thus enjoy all deserving amenities. Corroborating the sponsor, other lawmakers including the Majority Leader Honorable Yusuf Sharif, the Minority Leader Honorable Lukman Adeleye, as well as Honorables Adebisi Oyedele and Yusuf Amosun, thanked the federal and state governments as well as the National Assembly for moving the issue of electricity from the exclusive list to the concurrent legislative list, which now allows the states to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity within their jurisdiction. They noted that the initiative would assist in promoting healthy competitions amongst electricity operators, create enabling environment for industries, and boost the business investments of small and medium enterprises in the state. The lawmakers noted that if the state was able to generate power, over 50% of the challenges facing the people would have been resolved, stating that access to power would also help reduce rural-urban migration in the state. In his remarks, the Speaker, Right Honorable Elemide, stated that the bill, when operational, would improve electricity generation, transmission and distribution within the state, emphasizing that it would enhance electricity markets and key power sector bodies, as well as enforcing the consumer rights and obligations while breaking the monopoly of the electricity providers.
Ogun State will have a say. Our destiny in the area of electricity would have been put in our hands after the passage of the bill into law. This will also enhance synergy among stakeholders. That's a very great merit of the bill.
The Speaker later announced the Stakeholders Forum on the State Power Sector Bill for Thursday, 5th September 2024, commencing from 10 in the morning. Meanwhile, the Assembly has invited the Chairman and members of the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, OGSEC, to appear before the state lawmakers on the 3rd of September 2024 for proper explanation on its activities and preparation for the coming local government elections in relation to the payment of fees by political parties. The Speaker issued the invitation in response to the presentation of the Minority Leader, Honorable Lukman Adeleye, who raised the issue of payment of fees by political parties as rolled out by the State Independent Electoral Commission, preparatory to the conduct of upcoming local government elections.
The federal government has threatened to shut down filling stations selling petrol above the approved price, citing profiteering and exploitation of Nigerians. Despite efforts by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) to maintain a pump price of between 568 to 617 naira per litre, independent oil marketers have increased prices to between 900 to and 1,000 naira per litre. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority claims that private depot owners are selling petrol to independent marketers at exorbitant rates, leading to high pump prices. Spokesperson of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, George Ita, said the regulator will take action against offending stations. However, independent marketers argue that they are forced to buy petrol at high prices due to low supply from NNPC. According to the marketers, the subsidized rate of around 570 naira per litre is only available to major marketers, forcing them to sell petrol to consumers at higher prices. Nigerians have been celebrating the doggedness of the women folk and their determination to see that the social fabric remains intact at the face of global economic challenges. In an opinion poll randomly conducted on the streets of Abeokuta, both male and female respondents alluded to the fact that women have emerged better hustlers in the Nigerian challenging economic space. Fawara Adesonwo reports.
Nigeria, the giant of Africa with about 230 million population, is undoubtedly peopled by the smartest individuals in the world. The recent boat face-up with South Africa attested greatly that Nigeria, despite our deficit in social infrastructure, literally live and dine online. Although it is not the best in terms of economy for Nigeria, Nigerian men evidently enjoy the support of their spouses to bring much to the table and show their responsibility, thereby standing tall when it matters.
Well, in the past, it was the man. Because in the past, a man has to marry, keep the wife inside, then go out to work, bring the proceeds inside for the woman to use for the upkeeping of the family. But these days, everything has gone to a level whereby the man alone can no longer do it.
I have 3 children. So when we are at home, my husband will provide for morning food, Abby, and that's all. But when the children come back from school, I'll be the one to feed them. Mommy, I want to buy this. I want to buy biscuits. And in terms of buying something for our children, most parents can testify. You want to buy biscuit of 100 and you want to buy biscuit of 200. You will later realize you are spending more than 2,000 naira a day.
The precarious situation which the global gloomy economy had brought to the land, flowing in milk and honey, had left no one in doubt that Nigerian women have since left the kitchen to the driver's seat, if not becoming breadwinners, as men are collapsing in droves due to their inability to share their experiences and carry their spouses along the challenges confronting them at work, in career, and volition.
Vacuum, somebody must feel it. Women usually, because they have a lot of resilience, they have a way of rising to the occasion. So we won't blame them. But they rise to the occasion when men fail. However, there are some of them who also may not be able to rise. But for those who have risen to the occasion, we want to encourage them to do more. We want to also encourage the men to rest on their horse.
As marriages are collapsing, businesses are crawling, while hospitals have long lists of diagnoses with psychotic cases more valid.
It's not that I didn't know God before, understand? But it's like I know God more now than before.
When a man is not dropping, is not taking his responsibility, the marriage will collapse.
Dr. Sunday Amusu calls for restraint in frivolities.
According to your size, not according to your clothes now, not your size. If it is ordinary cape that you can wear or it's just a cap, buy cap. Don't buy Ankara where you can buy cap for around 5,000 or 2,000. That will suffice for you. You will still know that you identify with them. Then it's also not compulsory that you buy if you cannot afford it. Send your children to school that you will be able to afford easily.
It's teaching time, they say, saves 9. Ade Fawara Adesonwo, Ogtv News.
The immediate past Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Hamid Rufai Abubakar, has handed over to the new Director General, Ambassador Muhammad Muhammad, at the headquarters of the agency in Abuja. The outgoing Director General, formally welcoming his successor and introducing him to the management team of the agency, applauded the President for appointing his successor from the agency, which he said will aid smooth takeover. The former Director General pledged to be accessible whenever his contributions may be needed. The new Director General appreciated President Tinubu for considering him worthy of the appointment while thanking his predecessor for his excellent reception. He also called for the cooperation and support of the management staff for positive outputs. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has directed air component commanders to step up military operations and hit terrorists and oil thieves hard. Abubakar issued the directive in Abuja during a virtual meeting, lauding them for their outstanding performance so far. He highlighted the critical role they have played in ensuring the safety and security of the nation, saying their dedication and tactical efforts have led to a series of successful missions. Abubakar, however, emphasized that the challenges are far from over and called on the commanders to maintain the momentum while remaining vigilant to continue leveraging intelligence, precision strikes, and collaborative efforts with sister agencies to neutralize remaining threats. The Chief of Air Staff also reassured the commanders that enough leadership remains fully committed to their welfare and the provision of needed resources and equipment to enhance operational capabilities. He expressed confidence in their ability to deliver on their mandate, stressing that the nation's security and peace are paramount. At least 49 people have been killed and thousands displaced in Nigeria after heavy rains caused flooding in the northeast of the country. The National Emergency Management Authority, NEMA, said 3 states in the northeast, Jigawa, Adamawa, and Taraba, have been hit hard by floods, with 41,344 people displaced, said NEMA spokesperson Manzo Ezekiel. In 2022, Nigeria experienced its worst flood in more than a decade, which killed more than 600 people, displaced around 1.4 million, and destroyed 440,000 hectares of farmland. The floods have also destroyed farmlands, affecting around 693 hectares of agricultural land. Nigeria is battling double-digit inflation, which has been stoked by high food prices. Heavy rains have added to problems in the farming sector, where farmers are deserting their farms in the northeast due to repeated attacks by militants. The government in this year's flood outlook said 31 of the country's 36 states were at risk of experiencing high flood. It's now time for business news with Adebola Oshomoji. Stay with us.
Glad to have you on the business segment of the news. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has commenced shipment of liquefied natural gas cargoes to Japan and China on a delivered ex-ship basis. It said the move was in line with its strategic vision to be a dynamic and reliable global energy supplier of choice. The company's spokesperson Olufemi Shoneye said in a statement issued on Monday that NNPC achieved the milestone through the collaboration of 2 of its downstream subsidiaries. Since then, it has expanded its footprint to China with the delivery of 1 LNG cargo on DS basis, Shoneye stated. Delivered ex-ship is an international commercial term that requires the seller to deliver the product, goods, at a specific port. The seller takes responsibility for the shipping and issuance for the product goods until they get to the specified port of delivery. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Abeokuta, says the federal government would do everything it could to reduce the rising cost of liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas. The minister stated this at the Decade of Gas Initiative flagged the distribution of gas cylinders to about 300 women in Lagos State. It was reported that the price of 1 kilogram of cooking gas, which dropped to about 1,000 naira in June and July, has now risen to 1,300 naira in some areas, as a 12 kg cylinder is now refilled at the rate of 16,000 naira to 17,000 naira, as against 12,000 naira some weeks ago. According to him, President Bola Tinubu approved the initiative because he cares about the health of his people. The Asset Management and Corporation of Nigeria has said Arik and Aero Contractors Airlines may be merged and converted to a national carrier. The AMCON Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer Gbenga Alade stated this at an interactive session with media executives in Lagos. According to Alade, both Arik and Aero Contractor are owing so much money that they may not be able to pay. He stated that the corporation presented the idea of converting Arik and Aero Contractor to the former aviation minister, but it was rejected. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, said it will sell treasury bills, TBS, worth 2.2 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of 2024. This represents a 41% quarter-on-quarter decline when compared with the 1.56 trillion naira sold in third quarter 2024. CBN disclosed this today in its Nigeria Treasury Bills issued program for fourth quarter 24. Treasury bills are short-term, less than 1 year debt instrument used by the CBN to borrow money from the public on behalf of the federal government. The CBN also uses TBS to control money supply in the economy. The TB issue program commences on September 4th and ends on November 20th, 2024. During the period, the Apex Bank will issue TBS worth 158.79 billion naira on 91 days tenor, 109.61 billion naira on 182 days, and 1.94 trillion naira on 364 days. The 7th annual general meeting of Gateway Mortgage Bank Limited holds on Wednesday, 28 August 2024, beginning from 11 in the morning. The meeting, which will hold at the Metro's residences, Ibarra Housing Estate, Abeokuta, will have in attendance the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun. Guests are expected to be seated at the venue by 10:30 in the morning. And lastly, on the business segment of the news, about 198 extractive companies and government agencies have submitted information and data for the ongoing nationwide reconciliation and validation of revenues in the oil, gas, and mining industries by the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. The Executive Secretary of NITI, Dr. Ogtv, announced this in Abuja while addressing a meeting of leaders from civil society organizations involved in the extractive sector. This was contained in a statement made available to the journalist by NITI's Acting Director, Head of Communications and Stakeholders Management, Mrs. Obiageli Onora. Out of the 198 companies, Ogbonaya explained that 63 are in the oil and gas industry, meeting the materiality threshold of a minimum royalty payment. And that ends the business segment of the news. Over to Mojisola for the rest of our bulletin.
Thank you, Adebola. It's time to bring you the foreign segment of the news. Spain has sent a formal invitation to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen to experience firsthand what they perceive as an escalating migrant crisis. Also, rescue workers in Zambia retrieved 9 bodies after a quarry collapse near Lusanka. The incident occurred as a truck was loading gravel, causing the quarry wall to cave in and trapping several workers. Let's join Olayemi Takuro for details.
Spain's Canary Islands have sent a formal invitation to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen